So where was God? Notice I'm just going to go quickly through the book of Matthew. I looked up two words, Father and heaven. If you just search, like for example, I'm going to go to this Bible program and I'm going to search Father, heaven. Okay, I'm going to hit enter. And in this case, I'm going to go to the New Testament. I'm going to hit enter, and there we go. There's 71 times in the Bible, in the New Testament, that these words Father and heaven are used in the same verses. What I did is I went to the book of Matthew and I found Father which is in heaven. Father which is in heaven. Now count them with me, okay? I'm not going to count because I'm going to be reading, but do me the favor of counting. 1, Father which is in heaven. Father which is in heaven. My Father which is in heaven. And then in chapter 6, my Father which is in heaven. Father which art in heaven. Father which is in heaven. Father which is in heaven. Father which is in heaven. This is still Matthew in chapter 10. Father which is in heaven. Father, Lord of heaven. Father which is in heaven. Father which is in heaven. Chapter 18 now. Father which is in heaven. Father which is in heaven. Father which is in heaven. Father which is in heaven, according to chapter 29. So how many times did that happen right there? How many times did we find that idea of the Father being in heaven just in the book of Matthew? Okay, so that's a lot of times that Christ was saying very clearly to his disciples, my Father is in heaven. Okay? He didn't ever use that, to my knowledge, as some kind of allegory or metaphor. He actually knew that his Father was in heaven. Now, I have something that will challenge our thinking. God was not everywhere. God was in heaven while Christ was on the earth. Okay, now wait a minute. What? Are you saying that God is not omnipresent? Well, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that we have understood omnipresence incorrectly. Let me break it down. God is in heaven. Okay? Now, if Christ is coming to take us the second time, or coming the second time to take us to heaven, does that mean that he's just going to take us to where we're already at, which is with God, because God is everywhere? See, because if God is everywhere, why would Christ come to take us where God is? Because God is already where we're at. It doesn't make sense at all. So it's illogical. It's something that will not follow the Bible. With a misunderstanding of God's omnipresence, we've put him everywhere as some kind of essence pervading all nature. Like he's there because he's there, just because he fills everything. No, God is not there because he fills everything. God is in heaven. God is also not in the leaf, the tree, or the flower. So if he's not in the leaf, in the tree, or in the flower, God is not somewhere. Also, God is not in the heart of the sinner. If God is not in the heart of the sinner, then he is not somewhere. That means God is not everywhere, right? So when Christ comes a second time, he will take us to where the Father is, and we will be with God and we will see his face, which is not metaphorical. What that means is, we will be where God is, which is in heaven, meaning we will not be here on this earth for 1,000 years. Later, God will come with us to be here on this earth with us. You can read that in Revelation 21. But during Revelation 20, we're going to be separated from the earth. We're going to be with God in heaven. Now, that means that God is not everywhere. Because if God was everywhere, we would be with him right now, and there would be no need to go to heaven where he is. And when Christ ascended to the Father to sit with him at the right hand of the throne of majesty, he didn't just sit down on the earth because God is already here. He went to where God is and he sat down there with him. So let's try to divorce ourselves from a Trinitarian thinking of omnipresence and try to understand logically what the Bible actually teaches. God is in heaven, and we can be with him by his mind, his spirit. And his spirit is brought through agents, which one of them, as we're studying here, is his word. Now, so the word of God is the spirit of God. It is his life. The life of God and his spirit are in or mixed together with the words. If we store the word of God in our mind, what we're doing is we're storing the life of God, the spirit of God in our mind. And we are actually being transformed into his likeness as we surrender to his will found in his word, which is his spirit. This is what Christ did, and this is what he wants us to do.